We're in week 2. By the way, looks like it's going to be a 6-week trial. I mean, the plan right now is that this trial probably goes for about 6 weeks. But the admissions that are coming out of Planned Parenthood here are kind of breathtaking in scope, specifically as it relates to issues that the Planned Parenthood specifically did not want raised in the proceedings. They did not want to raise in the proceedings the illegality that was being investigated by the undercover reporters. That was, of course, involving the sale of fetal body parts. They didn't want the mention of fetal body parts. They didn't want to mention what was on some of these tapes. Yet what's so ironic in all of this is that Planned Parenthood's own lawyers have opened the door. Now, what that means legally is when you say someone's opened the door, they've set forth a series of questions, and that because of those questions, what happens, and this is, again, they did this themselves, what happens is now they've opened the door, so you get to ask questions to follow up because the jury is hearing this, and it would be a violation of due process to try to defend a case when you're not allowed to, in fact, make statements in response to videos that are now public. Or, in this particular case, where the judge said, I don't want any mention or discussions of illegality on Planned Parenthood's behalf, which is how this started. So they filed what's called a motion in limine early on, which means areas of things that will not be discussed. And what you had here, and this is just fact, is that they, right in the beginning of this trial, right as the trial began, they themselves opened the door. And they opened the door because a series of questions came out. Why did you think this why did you do these videos? Why were these videos done? And the person answered, because we thought that they were engaged in illegal conduct. So they opened up the door to this, and now just 3 weeks into it, it continues.
Yeah, this is what happened. So in the trial, and we talked about this, but let's just set the stage to get to then what happened yesterday. So 4 years ago, this started, where you had the Center for Medical Progress. You all saw these videos, right?
Right.
The videos showed, one, Planned Parenthood abortionist negotiating very clearly over infant body parts, and even joking that what they wanted in exchange was a Lamborghini, which really means lots of money, a lot of money, not just, these are not doctors or researchers. They want cash. It's a business, money. And when you use the word Lamborghini, it might not mean that she actually wanted an actual Lamborghini, but it means she wants hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this.
Think about this. They are making money from the abortion, from the procedure itself, terminating the life of the unborn child. And then they are turning around and taking the fetal body parts of the woman's unborn child that's now been killed and selling it to a third party.
They were willing to discuss the harvesting of babies' brains, livers, kidneys, and legs from tiny preborn children, offering to alter the abortion technique, which is illegal under the law, to ensure that the tissues would be undamaged and suitable for research. And then they also, on camera, on video, were bragging about the revenue earned by the sale of these organs and tissue taken from aborted infants. Now, they did this. They had these conversations with people. They didn't know who they were. And again, so it was undercover, but they sat down with them. They had it in open public places like restaurants, and they decided to take these meetings, and that's how they talk. Well, later, so Planned Parenthood's whole goal has been to shut these videos down completely so that no one sees them, including people during this trial, because there's a criminal side to this trial and a civil trial. Well, on Friday, October 4th, Planned Parenthood's lawyers, as you said, Dad, really screwed up because they called one of the co-defendants, Susan Merritt of Center for Medical Progress, to the stand. And even though the judge said that abortion-related nature of the videos should not be the focus of the trial, the attorney for Planned Parenthood asked her why she could record the conversations with the Planned Parenthood doctor. The judge allowed the question because it's Planned Parenthood's questions, lawyers' questions, and her answer was to see if Planned Parenthood was engaging in criminal activity, thus opening the door for the videos to be fully exposed again to the public.